Welcome to Craig Baxter.
Before we get into like y'all's connection, we were just talking about, I don't want to say fake media, but maybe the way that how the fake media rumor got started as far as like, we talked about the Columbine book and the Manson crimes. What's y'all's interpretation of like how this like fake media thing has like stuck?
I mean, they want most views, right? So, like, they always push the sensationalist story. Like, I was just listening to a couple podcasts because we're in October, so they're putting these out about the satanic panic and how they totally, like, fed this false thing of, like, Satanists are everywhere, they're coming for your children, cults, blah, blah, blah. Just because, you know, that's what they do. And they've never stopped doing that. Okay. Holly's trying to like eat the microphone.
Yeah.
So I think we've just like unfortunately things have just been driven like so far in that direction and it makes them money. And there are certain people that like own the media companies like I forget who's that guy that owns all the little Fox local affiliates and he gives them like scripts and they basically all read the same little script. And that's why there's so many clips of them all saying the same thing.
Sounds
The
like a
same shit.
conspiracy theory too. I don't know.
He just like it's like this conservative guy and he just like owns all these
Is it
stations.
Murdoch? Is it
And
the Australian
maybe.
dude?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. And so he just like you can just find clips of him all saying like literally almost word for word the same thing. Well, these local stations like the Houston
Mm-hmm.
one, like it's because like they're given things to say too or points to hit. So
I agree.
I think when money gets involved, things just don't work like they should.
What do y'all think about the term like fake media?
I mean, I don't think anyone's like, well, this is not true. I don't think anyone like who's on a reputable network or like has been doing it for a long time. Like, I don't think the majority of people are trying to be fake. I think it's just kind of like a kind of rushing to get the story out or, um,
It does drive me
that kind of thing.
crazy because they throw it as a blanket over all journalists and all stories. So like now we can't believe anything because apparently all of it's fake. It's like no, that's not true. Like they're one of the only last like true checks on like certain powers that exist in this country. Um, which is disappointing, I guess, that people now aren't listening to them.
I mean, there's definitely obviously like bias in everything to some degree. Like, I mean, obviously things like Fox News and CNN and like all these big news stations kind of lean their own way and don't talk about news stories that they don't want to talk about. But I don't know how much like actual fake stuff there is, at least like intentionally like trying to lie to people. It's just kind of like not talking about the things that make them or their friends or their party look bad, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know if this is a hot take at all, but like just how we get our media now is changing how we I don't know consume things. So it's my mom or dad I think maybe decades ago would have got it from watching the evening news or the newspaper, and now they just get a constant flow. Like my mom's on Facebook all the time,
Yeah.
and it's just she just has more exposure to that shit crazy ideas and stuff, and it looks real, it looks normal, but I don't
I
know.
was watching this
I agree.
documentary called The Great Hack on Netflix, and it was about like what Cambridge Analytica did. They like took all this data from Facebook and they specifically targeted like swing states and they figured out based on like Facebook data because Facebook has you categorized politically. Like you can go in there and find it. So they took all these people, like they zeroed in on all these people that they figured out like could be flipped or like were undecided or like could go one way or the other, like kind of in the middle people. And they bombarded them, like they targeted these media campaigns to bombard them with these like propagandas and like videos, like crooked Hillary, like lock her up, like isn't she bad? Like just like all these things, and they swung a bunch of them to like.
Were you around in like 2016, 2017? You don't remember all that
Yeah,
happening? Like,
yeah, I know, but it was just like insane, like because it talks about it in like detail and how they thought about it in
Like behind the
detail.
scenes.
Yeah, like so many people are getting their info from Facebook, and it's like just a crap show because like it's all controlled. Like what you see is like curated and controlled for you. Like I don't care about the ads, like buy some things from whatever. Like it knows like the place, it's clothing, like whatever. That's one thing. I like to browse. I don't usually buy online, but like thinking about all the stories that pop up in my news feed and how that might be different from someone else, and it's just creating like a wedge, and it's done on purpose and it's paid for. It's
She agrees.
Stop it.